I had no idea if that would accomplish anything, but I did it anyways. I had to find some way of getting away from her. Being pursued was cool and all, but not by somebody who was apparently willing to kill. 3 days went by with no contact from Daniela. On the third day, Trent contacted me. The subject came up and I told him that I'd broken up with Daniela. He said that was too bad, and the subject was dropped. What else could I do? It was the best way to avoid talking about her. I had to make it clear that she wouldn't be getting what she wanted. A few days later, Trent sent me a link to a news story. A girl named Megan Harris from my town was found murdered. The murder was described less as murder and more as a torture session. They said she was found strapped to a table, naked, with her mouth and eyes sewn shut. She had sharp objects stuck in almost every square inch of her skin. According to the autopsy, somebody smashed her teeth through her sealed lips with a blunt object, probably a hammer, forcing her to choke on pieces of her teeth. Megan Harris was the first girl I ever had a crush on. Back in the second grade, that was also the last time I had ever seen her. This fact led me to believe that Danielle may have been involved again. The place I went to high school, the town I'm originally from, was nowhere near Michigan or where I live now. If Danielle was really the killer, whoever she was, she really got around. But the troubling part is that there's no way she could have known that I was ever interested in Megan. Nobody could have known that. I never told anybody. And I didn't even remember it until I found out she had died. Not only does Daniela know more than she should, she knows more than is even possible. Now I was starting to get truly scared. I was no longer asking who Danielle was as much as what she wants. This is no longer strange. Now it seems truly unnatural. I thought long and hard about my next course of action. Who do you think did it? I messaged Trent. They don't have any idea, he messaged me back. While I was attempting to think of something else to say to him, he messaged me back again. Hold on, somebody's here. Trent left for a while. In the meantime, I began talking to Bruce. As I was talking to Bruce, he said something that raised a red flag. So Dan, what do you think of the new series? Bruce doesn't know my name. I've never told him, and he had no way of finding out. Bruce, did you just call me Dan? Oops, God. It couldn't have been her. But what happened to Bruce? Danielle, is that you? Uh-huh. You wouldn't talk to me, so I had to impersonate somebody you would. Pretty clever, huh? Where's Bruce? Well, I couldn't impersonate him with him standing there. Duh. Had to get him out of the way. What did you do to him? Well, we'll just say he went a little out of his skull. I blocked the Bruce account right there. She killed somebody else I knew. I assumed. What could I do? She just keeps killing people. Why? Finally, Trent got back to me. I just saw something else really fucked up. Take a look. He included a news article. A porn star named Cheyenne Pepper was found murdered on the set. She had been stabbed a grand total of 196 times. Without sounding too weird, Cheyenne Pepper was my favorite porn star. The worst thing about this case was that the studio was actually running when it happened. Cheyenne had apparently only been on set alone for a few minutes before she found that way. There was no struggle, no suspects, no nothing. I once again couldn't help but assume Danielle had something to do with this. Trent ended the conversation after a little more banter. He said he was tired and went to bed. Who the fuck was this Danielle girl? What was she? I opened my Black Pond Road window and decided I'd try something. I unblocked Danielle's account. I want anything she posted or sent to me to be visible. 863 new messages. Daniel, what do you mean we're not together anymore? Daniel, fucking answer me. Daniel, you promised we'd be together forever. Daniel, fucking talk to me. You fucking loser. Daniel, I'm gonna get mad. Daniel, please respond. Daniel, if you don't answer, I'm gonna get mad. Daniel, you're fucking pissing me off. Daniel, I'll start to do things. Daniel, I'm bleeding now. Look what you did. Daniel, I'm coming to find you. Daniel, I'm sorry, I don't mean it. Daniel, I still love you. It can still work. Please respond. Daniel, if you don't respond, I'll fucking kill you. Daniel, look what you made me do. I think she's dead. Daniel, I'm so sorry. I just get so mad. Daniel, please forgive me. I don't mean it. Daniel, please respond. Daniel, please respond. I flipped through the messages. It just goes on like that for the rest of the chain. What the fuck? This person, or whatever she was truly deranged. I reblocked her and went to bed. She was driving me crazy. The next day I got a message from Trent. Right away I could tell that something was off. Hey man, how's that girl you're dating? I told you, I broke up with her. Well, don't you think that was cruel? You don't even know her, man. I think I know her well enough. She showed her hand again. Is this Danielle again? Is Trent dead? Of course he is, silly. After all, he's a bad influence on you. He gives you silly ideas of breaking up with me. I had to get rid of him. Why are you doing these things? Because I love you, of course, Danny. But why? How do you even know me? We've never even met. I know you well enough, Danny. Now stop being silly. I'm sorry I got mad at you. I can't stay mad at you. I forgave you for breaking up with me. We were never dating. Of course we were. You told me we were. You don't exist. I lied to Trent. I told him I was dating somebody to make myself look good. We were never together because you aren't supposed to be real. Of course, baby. I'm what you asked for. I'm the answer to your prayers. Oh, by the way, Danny, baby, I hope you're not jealous, but I saw your friend's wiener. He was in the shower when I got to him. So embarrassing. Well, I've got blood all over me. I'm gonna take a shower. Want to join me? Just kidding. She cut the conversation there. Goddamn lunatic. They had found Bruce's body stuffed in his bedroom closet. His head had been cut off with a saw. The top half of it was found in his lap. Turns out his real name was Evan Porter. He lived in Florida. Nowhere near any of the other murders. They later found Trent's body in the shower. Somebody had taken an axe to him. He was in so many pieces that he was barely recognizable. There was evidence that somebody else had used the shower after killing him, but they didn't know who. This continued for weeks. People I knew from my high school, or earlier, people I knew from online, they were being picked off and murdered in brutal ways. They never found any evidence of who could be doing it aside from my fingerprints. It was very soon that they kept me under observation. When it was clear that some of the murders were taking place when I was being directly observed, they let me go. They figured that somebody was trying to frame me somehow. What could I possibly do about this? She was killing people basically because I knew them. I was so alone. But now I was even more so. Most of the few people I did know were dead. I decided on a course of action, one that I didn't think I would do. I unblocked Danielle, and sent her a message. Danielle, please stop. I actually do love you, but please stop with this. It's silly. All you're doing is hurting people. Literally, within seconds I had a response. I knew you'd love me. Are we officially BFGF now? I had to think about how to respond. I knew that no matter how I answered, there was no going back. Yes, of course we are. As I typed that, I could feel my blood curdle. Like I'd made a horrible mistake. Yay! Don't move a muscle. I'm coming over, baby. Maybe I'll wear something sexy, assuming I'll wear anything at all. See you soon. An hour or so had passed. I stared at the ceiling, realized I may have just signed my own death certificate. This girl was clearly dangerous, and now she was coming to my house. Should I prepare? Should I kill her when she got here? Would I be able to? Was she even human? After an hour, I heard noises coming from downstairs. Screams, thumping. She was here, and she was after my parents. What could I do? Nothing. I was paralyzed with fear, and by the time I got over that, all the noise from downstairs had ceased. They were likely dead already. There was nothing I could do except wait for her to come for me too. I sat upstairs in my computer chair, staring at the bedroom door. I could hear footsteps climbing the stairs. I could hear a female voice, humming a tune, a happy tune. All the noise ceased as she stopped outside my bedroom door. I closed my eyes and looked away from the door. I heard the door slowly creak open. Somebody entered the room. Danny? A female voice said. I looked up to see her. Before me stood a young woman. She looked to be in her late teens or early 20s. Long, black hair, brown eyes, bare skin, slender body, breasts that were large, but not huge. She wore a short, plaid skirt and a white button shirt. Her skin and clothes were covered in blood. I stared at her, coming to realization. She looked exactly like the girl that had been appearing in my dreams. Danny, I'm so happy to see you, she said. I didn't respond. I averted my gaze, down toward the floor. Danny, now that we're together, things can be the way they were meant to be. Nobody else in the way. I didn't respond. I sat there with a blank expression. It's okay, Danny. We're together now. Nothing will ever keep us apart again. I wasn't looking at her anymore. I felt her place her hand on my shoulder. She rubbed my shoulder, placing her other hand on my other shoulder. I could feel that she was kissing me, but I wasn't really registering it. Who are you? I finally asked her. I'm Daniela, and I'm exactly what you always wanted. As she said that, she did a subtle pose, as if presenting herself to me. She was strangely bubbly for someone who killed everybody I knew. What are you? I'm your dream girl. I'm everything you've always wanted in a woman, she said, placing herself in my bed. You begged for love, and I gave it to you. You begged for a woman, and here I am. What's the problem? It's the IP address, the fingerprints. Don't you get it, Danny? You wished for me, and here I am, LDM43. Love, Daniel Morris, forever. I exist to love you, Danny. You just have to accept my love, she said. As she said that, she subtly unbuttoned one of her shirt buttons. I couldn't help but laugh at what she was telling me. I buried my face in my hands and resigned myself. She'd won. She'd done exactly what she wanted, to give me exactly what I wanted. I woke the next morning with a cloudy head, I could feel wetness all around me against my skin. I could see the color red. As I sat up in bed and looked beside me, Danielle was there, naked. Why? Why had I done that? The woman had done unforgivable things to me and the people I knew. She was a murderer, a monster. I still didn't even know what she really was. But here she was, naked in my bed, still soaked in the blood of her recent victims, my own parents, the same way I was. I laid back down, placing my head against my pillow. As I laid flat on my back, my head started to hurt, as it always does when I lay like that. What did I have left to lose? She was my dream girl. She was created just for me. Just to give me the love that I'd always wanted, that I'd been longing for. And she was doing that. Was it really so bad to lose everybody else I knew in exchange for somebody who would always truly love me? I'd made my girl, and now I had to live with her. Whether I liked it or not, she was all I had left now. Maybe Danny is right. This is true love.